Hello. Good evening, Mr. Bond fans. I hope you can all hear me. Am I coming through okay? Can you hear me? All right, I've got a few. Hello, Sasha. Hello, Maria. Hello, Daniel. East-Based Productions. Hello. Am I coming in okay? Can everybody hear me? Hello. Thank you, Gethin. Thank you, Robert. Jack, yes. Oh, hi, Jack. Fremantle. Kobe, hello. Right, so first things first. Hi, everyone. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Thank you very much for joining me. Yeah, for my sort of regular excuse just to have a little bit of a drink to myself. But it's not to myself, is it? Because it's I've got company anyway. Oh, hey, Sam. Just thought I'd pop in a few minutes before I go out. What did you think of your Daniel Craig marathon overall? Well, yeah, that's the thing. If you don't follow me on Twitter, on the hottest day of the year here in the UK, I've spent the day watching the Daniel Craig films back to back. So that was very exciting. But first of all, I need to pour myself a drink because I've got the ice in here. I've realized that every time I've done one of these, I've never actually had a vodka martini on one of these live streams. I've had Vespa martinis, but that's about it. So I believe, got this very nice vodka. I believe it's 70 mils of vodka. I have to be a bit estimate here. Okay. And then I think I do... How much of a measure of martini do I put in? Is it just the one measure? I don't know. Right, okay, well, we'll take a punt on a single measure. Right, there we go. Okay, just bear with me while I pour this. It feels more Bondian to, do it on camera, right? Should we stir it or shake it? Oh, as little as possible. Depends how dry you like it. Okay. I'm a fan of dry. Okay, here we go, folks. Sorry, you might want to cover your ears for this. I don't know how this is going to come across on the mic. Is Calvin going to get wrecked live? Yes, Robin, that's normally how these go, if this is your first one. Oh. God, that got cold. I don't know if you can see how icy that is. Okay, here we go. So how this normally works is if this is your first one of these, it's normally just me having a bit of a tipple. There we go, with a bit of lemon peel. And answering questions. So if you have any questions, just pop them in the chat. And yeah, we'll just have a bit of a chat, really, I suppose. Oh, like Daffyd Brooks. Hi, Daffyd. Hey, man, have you seen the License to Kill VHS UK rental opening that's 14 minutes long? Chris Tarrant is eating KFC. Oh, this is ringing a bell, but I don't think I have. Thank you very much, Daffyd. That's very kind of you. I don't know if I've... Oh, yes, because Chris Tarrant's doing an advert on the video, isn't he, before it plays. Am I right? I might have seen this, Anyway, Cooper, let's get pissed. Yeah, I like that. Oh, Brooker likes the sound of that shake. Thank you very much. Cheers, everyone. I don't know if... I don't know sport. I know that there is some kind of sport happening today and England is involved. So I don't know if people are commiserating or celebrating or whatever, but whichever one it is, I'm doing it. Oh, hello, Ben Cole. There's like a competition or something. Yeah, exactly. Oh, that's quite good. Oh, that's very nice, actually. That is actually really lovely. I might actually prefer that to Vespa, The top of the cocktail shaker just exploded off. That's insane. Like the thing on top just like popped off. God, I don't know what caused that. Anyway, it's all very exciting. I'm happy that did not blow up in my face on this live stream. That would have been a bit embarrassing. Yeah. Okay, Dylan Nicholson, do you think they'll do something special for the movies next year for the 60th anniversary? Well, we are going to be getting a new book, I believe, aren't we, from Anthony Horowitz. And I still have my fingers crossed. I know it's a bit of a pipe dream, but for the game to potentially come out next year, I'm really, really hoping. I don't know if I think it's still a bit too early in development. I think we'll be looking at 2023 possibly for the game, but I would love it. Like a book and a game out would go some way. It's the next best thing to having a new movie. So I think Defid again, thank you very much. You're always very kind. Which football team would 007 support? Oh god, I have absolutely no clue. I mean, England, I guess. Does Scotland have a football team? I feel like Connery would probably support that one, or Connery's Bond, rather. Aaron Jarvis, are you looking forward to seeing Leia Sadu in No Time to Die? I actually really am. Like I say, I spent this day, I've just been sat in the front room binging all of the Daniel Craig Bond films from start to finish, and I have to say, it's the most I've ever enjoyed Spectre. And that's, I was actually really enjoying it. And I don't know if I was just delirious at that point, because I woke up from about, I think it was 8:30 in the morning. I started with Casino Royale, went to Quantum of Solace, and then had lunch, went to Skyfall, and then straight to Spectre. And I'm going to be making a video about how that marathon went. I was recording myself through it, so we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, it was a really interesting experience, and I'm not much of a movie marathon guy. We did some in my student house because we were a bunch of film students, and we'd watch all the Evil Deads in a row and that kind of thing. But yeah, it was an experience, and I think one of the main reasons why I wanted to do it is because Quantum of Solace has had so much reappraisal recently, and there's been quite a few articles and videos that I've seen that have all made really good points and really good cases in favor of it, because it's got a fan base, and I think that's really good. I love that every Bond film does have a set of fans. So I was kind of mainly watching it because I wanted to see how Quantum of Solace would play coming immediately after Casino Royale. And I don't know, that one I'm kind of still, yeah. But Spectre, on the other hand, I thought, funnily enough, played quite well after watching all the three ones in succession. Freemason Calvin, you once tweeted that if you said you liked Spectre, we should assume you were being held hostage. No, I know, and I did wonder, like, wearing a dark t-shirt, a dark shirt on this, I was sort of wondering, like, are people gonna think that I'm trying to insinuate something? But I'm not, honestly. Rodri Williams, thank you very much. Oh, cheers. Drink to that. When do you think they will announce the new Bond? Oh, I think I want to say we're a ways off. They're definitely going to want to let the dust settle on No Time to Die. And knowing Barbara Broccoli and how she feels about Daniel Craig, it wouldn't surprise me if we go through a bit of a phase of them sort of trying to get him back. And then maybe we need to see how that goes. And then maybe they'll, start with someone else. But if I had to just take a punt on a year, I would say 2023, I guess. But that's just a shot in the dark. But I think after No Time to Die, I think we're going to be waiting until at least 2024 before the next Bond film, definitely. How many spots did Spectre move on your list? Oh, Zach Marsh. Hey, Zach. How many? I don't know. I need to think about it some more. It might have just swapped places with Quantum of Solace. Like I'm saying, I'm quite positive about Spectre. It's still like being positive about Spectre is me saying that I would perhaps rather watch it instead of the 60s Casino Royale spoof. So I don't know how much praise that is. Oh, Rodri Williams again. I suppose it's all they could do for the 60th. Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, announcing a new Bond in the year of the 60th anniversary of the film franchise might do very well. Something that they could do at least. Oh, Edward Taylor, thank you very much, Edward. Hi, Calvin. My question is, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Cheers from a northerner in Toronto, Canada. Oh, hey, Edward, I'll drink to that. Where do I see myself in 10 years? Oh, probably not too dissimilar to this, to be honest. I hope I'm still doing the whole YouTube thing. And I would like to own a home. That would be nice. Living in like rented flats in London all this time, because I would like my own home, because I want my own basement so that I can do what David Zaritsky does and have all of my Bond stuff out on display and collect more Bond stuff. So I think that's where I would like to be in 10 years. Whether or not I'm there would be another thing. Oh, Zach, thank you, Zach. It's very kind of you. Calvin will be playing James Bond in 10 years. I don't know about that. I don't think the world is quite ready for a camp Northern Bond. Is this live stream just an excuse to get drunk? Brooke, that's exactly what this is. If you haven't seen any of these before, it is mainly just me sipping a martini and answering questions. So, yes, if you have a question, though, please do pop it in the chat. Ben Cole, there are homes in the UK with basements. There are indeed. Yeah, no, a good couple of my friends up north have basements. Yeah, one of them has converted it into a bit of a man cave, which I'm very jealous about. Oh, Hosni. Hi, Hosni. Calvin, good to be on the stream again. Well, thank you very much for joining. Right. Oh, Dean Jones. Hello, Dean Jones. Oh, high voltage. Thank you very much. I love doing these because it's like so many similar. It's not similar. The same names and faces. It's really nice. Tret Films, my GFs. That might be Calvin's dream, but that isn't happening here. Right, high voltage. Thank you very much. I'll drink to that. Most underrated Bond song. For me, it's License to Kill, Blasphemous, but I love it so much more than A View to a Kill by Duran Duran. This is a really difficult question to ask because the one that I would consider to be the most underrated is, I'm not much of a music person, so I would have to say, oh God, help me for saying this, The Man with the Golden Gun. I think it's a belter. I don't think you can. Does anyone? I mean, whenever I hear it, I just want to get up and I don't dance as such, but move around a bit every time I hear that song. It's a great karaoke song, very very good karaoke song. Oh, John Leggett. I hope I'm pronouncing your surname right, John. Cheers. Hey, Calvin, excited to see a third Anthony Horowitz Bond novel due for release in 2022. I am actually, but I do need to actually get around to reading. Oh, I almost knocked the martini over then. His other ones. So I've got Trigger Mortis here. And I've not got the other one. But Anthony Horowitz, I really love because when I was a kid, I used to read the Alex Rider series, which was sort of like a junior James Bond sort of thing. The series was on Amazon recently. They adapted one of the books into a series, and it was really good. Much better than the film, anyway, that was released a few years ago. But yeah, no, I'm excited for another book. Anyway, hopefully that'll get me back into reading again because I don't read that much anymore now that I'm not commuting, and I do have an awful lot of John Gardner books to catch up on. So, oh, Zach again, giving me a reason to drink. Thank you, Zach. On a scale of Big Trouble in Little China to Scanners, how massively did your head explode upon learning that License to Kill is my new #2 Bond film? I'm trying to think of a smaller head explosion in cinema. Probably just Milton Crest level, I guess, because it's been creeping up my rankings as well, Zach. It might... Would it pip the top 10 now? I don't know. Me and David Zaritsky did a video debate on it, and I rewatching it. It's one of those ones that every single time it just goes up and up and up the rankings. I really do get more and more out of it every time. Oh, Damien Fenton. Hey, Damien. Hey, Calvin. Is Daphne's brother Simon the Sheriff Pepper of Frasier? Yes, I'm a massive Frasier fan. For anyone who... Maybe I'll start a Frasier YouTube channel. Maybe that's what I'll be up to in 10 years, because they have that reboot coming. Now, the world does definitely not need a Frasier YouTube channel. Is Simon the Sheriff Pepper of Frasier? I think that is a fairly spot-on comparison, actually. Particularly as I actually quite like Simon, and I quite like Sheriff Pepper. So, yeah. Oh, Ben Cole, hey, if I could plow through the Gardner books, you can too. There's light on the other side. Benson is pretty good. That's what I hear. And of the Gardner ones, I'm kind of dying to get to the one where he goes to Disneyland or Disney World or wherever. Because I think that must be funny. That must be hilarious. And doesn't he save Princess Diana in one of them? Gardner has him doing some right weird stuff. Lars DVD time, Calvin. Am I late? You're no one is ever late to one of these, Lars. So, cheers. White Phoenix. Hello, White Phoenix. If The Impossible happened and Amazon and Paramount came to a deal for a Mission Impossible James Bond crossover, do you think it would work? Possibly. If it had good enough writing. They'd have to do it fairly sharpish because I'm not sure how much more Cruise has in him. Like he's kick my bum any day, but he's getting on a bit in age, and I do wonder if that would hinder that. Really, if that's why they're trying to get through so many Mission Impossible films now. Get them all in the can before he's too old for it. Daffyd Brooks again. Thank you very much. Another reason to drink. Did you ever notice Tim Dalton's Midland Derby accent when he says, "You're just in time, things are about to get nasty"? Yeah, I do. I love it every single time he does it. It's my second favorite sort of strange Bond accent drifting into northernism. My second favorite after Mr. White in Quantum of Solace. You don't even know we exist. I always love it when he says that line. Fabio Magagna. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sorry, but that is a really cool surname. That's awesome. Hi, Calvin. What is your favorite Bond gadget? Cheers. Right, well, cheers. I love a laser watch. That is my absolute favorite. It's one of those where if I had it in real life, I don't know if I would have any reason to use it. But I just love it. Oh, in GoldenEye, when he's got it out and he's, cutting out the hole, I really love it. Definitely the laser watch. Exploding pen. GoldenEye just has the best gadgets, actually. Genevieve Simmons. Hello, Genevieve. Do you plan on talking about John Wick soon? I would actually quite like to dive into those. I've had nothing but recommendations for them. People really rave about them, and I would like to see what it's all about because I haven't actually watched any yet. So yeah, hopefully soon. Hopefully soon. The gargantuan apple. Thank you very much. Hey, Calvin, have you seen the new No Context Calvin Dyson Twitter account? No, I have not. And I'm intrigued now, and I think I might have to be going on Twitter after this to see what that's all about. I hope it's kind. Daffyd Brooks again. Thank you. You're very kind, Daffyd. Thank you. Do you own For My Eyes Only John Glenn book? I don't. I looked into it recently, see if I could get one. And I don't think I don't know if it's still in print anymore. I think it had a reprint, but no, I don't actually. But I would quite like to read it. I still need to read the Roger Moore 007 diaries from Live and Let Die. I've got that book on the shelf. And again, all these books just keep piling up. David Hilton. Hello, David. Who's your favorite henchman? I mean, Xenia on a top is always on a top for me. I think she's brilliant. She's probably my favorite. Jaws, Mayday, Odd Job come in somewhere around there as well. There's so many great hench people in Bond. There's probably more hench people that I love, that like really, really love, than main villains that I really, really love. William, thank you very much, William. It's very kind. What do you think of my top 5 Bond film ranking? License to Kill, The Spy Who Loved Me, From Russia with Love, Casino Royale, GoldenEye. Interesting. We have 3, of the similar tops with Spy Who Loved Me, Casino Royale, and GoldenEye. From Russia with Love is one that I really wish I could love. I always come to it thinking like, I really wish I just... every time, that's one that I wish I would get something more out of. Like License to Kill, I have done every single time I watch it. I feel like I take something new away from the experience. But yeah, From Russia with Love never has for me. But it's great to, it's great to see it in other people's top 10s. Sean, thank you very much. Sean Kunau. Oh, I'm so sorry. If this is anyone else's first live stream on this channel, this is another recurring element of it, me mispronouncing everyone's names, which is, so I apologize, everyone. John Hansen, thank you very much, John. I will drink that. As you've just watched Casino Royale, is there a good reason for Vesper to kill herself? Well, I think that's more of a... She's killing herself because she can't possibly live with the guilt of what she's done to James, I'm guessing. I I loved her death scene in that thing, though. In the film, I think it's so unvain, if that's a word. It's the fact that the actress is really like she looks like she's genuinely drowning. It's not like a slow, peaceful like fade away into the like, oh, I'm out of air. It's like, no, she's like really trying to gulp in air that isn't there, and that overcomes for me some of the, perhaps, you do need to take a bit of a leap to appreciate, I guess, that she's doing this, much in the same way that I feel like it's never entirely wrapped up when Le Chiffre says to Bond, your friend Mathis is really my friend Mathis. It's like, why does he say that? Because from his point of view, Bond isn't getting out of the situation anyway, so why is he feeding him that misinformation, as we find out in Quantum of Solace? It's misinformation. Well, Zach Marsh again, Zach, thank you very much. I'll drink again. It's the problem with these super chats. It gets me drunk as anything. What do you think is your best video? Oof, that's an interesting question. I don't really know. You know what? I was really happy with my Chitty Chitty Bang Bang video that hardly anyone watched. Understandably so, perhaps. But I actually thought that one came out really well. That might actually be my favorite. Matt Picton. Thank you very much, Matt Picton. Hey, Calvin, do you like the film Carrie? I love the film Carrie. Brian De Palma. Dressed to Kill is probably my favorite of his, but Carrie's fantastic. I'm assuming you're talking about that one and not the Chloe Grace Moretz remake, which I did also quite like, actually. Anyway, drink. All right. Ben Mooney, thank you very much. I'll go another drink. Cheers. Favorite Bond location that you've visited? I've been to astonishingly few, to be perfectly honest. It'd probably would have to be one in London. Like, I've seen most of them in London. I really like this might be quite sad, but I really like the door that Pierce Brosnan goes through and down in Dine of the Day with Houses of Parliament in the background. I've been there and had a photo, and it's like, oh, I do love that spot. It's a terrific photogenic location. I do really like it. But no, sadly, I've not been to all that many Bond locations. I've been to Las Vegas many years ago. I'm not a huge fan of Vegas. Anyway. So Samuel Crabtree. Oh, what Bond location would you like to see Bond visit? Oh, I'd love Bond to go to Australia. Either Australia or Canada, like proper Canada, and spend like a good bulk of a film there. Just because I think they'd be different. And we haven't really seen them yet, those locations in Bond, so that would be good. Oh, David Brooks again, thank you. Will you do a review of the 40th anniversary BBC Michael Parkinson tribute? Have you seen the Terry Wogan License to Kill interview on YouTube? I have not seen the Terry Wogan License to Kill interview. 40th anniversary BBC. Oh, yes, I would actually quite like to do that. I've been looking at, there's a really good YouTube channel, the James Bond Visual Archive, and they upload an awful lot of these great, like, older TV specials and stuff. And I'm planning a video on the Desmond Llewellyn This Is Your Life. It will be better than it sounds. Oh, Hosni, thank you very much, Hosni. Cheers. Oh, God, I'm almost down on this first one already. It's not even been half an hour. Hey, Calvin, can we expect a Kevin McClory controversy explained video later down the line? Definitely, 100%, but it will have to be a really, like, thoroughly researched and edited and all that, like, because not because I think Kevin McClory's estate is going to come after me and sue me if I get some details wrong, but I don't want to be presenting any misinformation, and I know that there's an awful lot of inconsistencies there anyway when it comes to like who people think invented the Blofeld character, for instance, and I wouldn't want to misrepresent any of that, so it would be an awful lot more research than perhaps what my usual sort of thing is, which is I've read a lot of books about the films and stuff, so a lot of it comes naturally, whereas with that I might have to do a bit more research. Oh, Zach Marsh again. Thanks, Zach. I feel like you tend to reach for the alcohol anytime my name shows up on your screen, so I find some joy in doing it on command. Well, I'm almost at the bottom of this one. Oh, there we go, Zach. BFI Player has Kevin McClory's debut film on The Boy in the Bridge. Thanks for that tip off, Ben Cole. I would actually be quite curious to see another Kevin McClory film, because The Boy in the Bridge was one that was apparently not very good. Am I right in thinking? But he was really proud of it. Or Ian Fleming saw it and then it put him off working with him on a future film, which is pretty hilarious. Zachary Ansel, will you do a video ranking on the cinematographers? First of all, thank you very much, Zachary. And yes, actually, I'm trying to hold off on doing any more ranking videos until No Time to Die comes out, because otherwise, I made this, this rule a few years ago, and I was like, I'll wait until it comes out because it's coming out in March 2020 after all, isn't it? And yeah, that didn't serve me very well. Expect Deakins to come quite high on that. Oh, Peter. Hello, Peter. Calvin, have you ever watched the Professional series with Martin Shaw? I haven't, but heard really good things. Yeah. Peter McCormick. Hey, Peter. I nearly made a Kevin McClory video, but it was too daunting. Oh, actually, Peter has a really cool... has uploaded some really cool Bond videos to his channel. I hope you don't mind me saying that, Peter. But yeah, you should, actually. I mean, if, do the hard work so that I don't have to. Hi, Calvin. Good to see you all. Thank you, Joseph Sarah. Curious question. Heard of Austin Powers? I have heard of Austin Powers, yes. I've done video reviews, actually, of the Austin Powers films on this channel. They're not really my cup of tea, I must say. But there's some stuff to enjoy in them. Daniel, hello Daniel. Do you like the Indiana Jones movies? I love Indiana Jones. Yeah, and I think I've got a couple of videos now, reviews on my channel, and I'm looking forward to getting to The Last Crusade hopefully at some point because that's my favorite, and obviously it's got Connery in it, so that's great. Damn coffee, Calvin, get drunker. Yeah. I might actually have to pour another one soon. I hope this... Oh, yes, putting this in the freezer really paid off. This is nice and cold. Okay, that's good. I won't need to go and get some more ice. Oh, Matt Picton. Hello, Matt. Chin Chin. What do you think of Colin Farrell's look as the Penguin in the new Batman? Well, Batman Returns is my favorite Batman film. Obviously, Danny DeVito is the Penguin, and I think he's pretty perfect. I like the Colin Farrell's look. And it's different, so that's good. But yeah, I love Batman Returns, so I'm slightly biased. It took me a little while to get over Catwoman with Anne Hathaway and Halle Berry, because I love the Michelle Pfeiffer one so much. Oh, Daffyd again. You're very kind, Daffyd. Thank you. Have you seen the 3-hour Spy Who Loved Me making of on YouTube? Yes, and everyone should see that. It's incredible, and I really wish they'd just put it on one of the Bond home media something. It would have been brilliant on the Spy Who Loved Me Blu-ray. It's so detailed and so in-depth and so candid, actually. And I know that AJ Chowdhury, co-author of Some Kind of Hero, really rates it as well. And rightfully so. It's brilliant. And I wish there were more that existed for some of the classic Bond films. Oh, KW, can you please make your old videos available for Patreon soon? And will you be making an Agent Under Fire video for the 20th anniversary? Yes, actually, on both counts. But the Agent Under Fire video, I've recently been replaying it. Got my old Nintendo Wii out of storage so I could play it. I've got the GameCube version. And... yeah, it's great. I just want an excuse to talk about it. And my other video for it is quite old now, so I would like to update that as well. Zach Marsh seconded me on the old Hitchcock videos. I'll think of something. I might have to find those, actually. They might be like buried deep on my hard drive somewhere. Sorry, Zach. Oh, Tony Woolley. Hello, Tony. How will you feel when Bond is younger than you? Oh, that's a good question, because this came up on the James Bond and Friends podcast recently. Someone was talking about how whoever comes after Daniel Craig will be the first Bond that is younger than them. And I've not really had that issue. I mean, I am 31, so there is a chance that by the time they get to casting the next Bond, they could be around about my age, which would be interesting, because Bond has always been this sort of uncle figure to me, and now it's sort of going to be in a similar age bracket to whoever it is that they pick. I don't know what that does. I mean, to your sort of relatability to the character or what, but yeah. The Ginger Geek. Hey, Calvin. So how much do you love Spectre now? I don't love it, but it's just creeped up that estimation just a bit. Okay, I might have to have another one. 31, how are you, Gramps? Can Ken make it? Thank you, Ken. Very kind of you. Oh, I think the ice is still... Oh, good. This thing kept its cold quite nicely. Ever made the scrambled eggs from 007 in New York short story? I did once, and I tell you, the instruction that I don't much care for that Fleming puts in is to continuously stir the eggs. I think it's actually much better if you leave it for a little bit, instead of just stirring it continuously, because otherwise it just ends up all kind of broken, which is no good to man nor beast. All right. Oh, Matt Picton again. Thank you, Matt. How amazing was Rosamund Pike in Gone Girl? Rosamund Pike is amazing in anything. I think she's absolutely like one of the best actresses working today. I really liked her in what was it called? She played a lady who like conned old people. I can't remember what she. Oh, I can't do the shake now because the thing exploded off. Right, one sec. Haha, there we go. I'll try, hopefully it won't explode off this time. Oh, Zachary Antle, thank you very much, Zachary. Twine would be last for me, knowing the other films Bibble Apta did. I have no idea why it's so flat, cheap daytime TV looking. Oh, cinematography-wise, yeah, no, it's really not one of the best cinematography-wise, but I love The World Is Not Enough. I do wish it looked slightly better. But all right, there we go. Oh God, second one, and it's only been half an hour. This is terrible. Sunday night too. All right. Samuel Crabtree, hello. Are you ever going to do a personal Q&A meet and greet, Calvin? It would be great to meet with you and others from the community. Oh, well, that's cool. It would be good to do, actually. I don't know if I'd do it quite so formally, but it is nice to meet people. Like when it was the BFI Bond Day, and there were a few people all gathered at the BFI to watch the Bond films. That was really cool because I got to meet some people. Got to meet Ben Cole, which was awesome. So yeah, no, it is good. But yeah, no, I think as things start opening up and we start to be able to do things again, I think hopefully I'll be at some Bond event somewhere. Sergeant Day AM, thank you very much. Cheers. What are your top 2 villain Lairs? Well, has to be Volcano Lair is number 1. Always Volcano Lair. It's just absolutely one of the greatest sets in cinema history. It's phenomenal. Second, probably Drax's Space Station. I did do a top 10 villains Lair ranking video, and I think those were the 2 that I said back then. I can't exactly remember, but I think, I love both of those. Oh, Zach Marsh again. Well, now I've seen your name, Zach. I'm going to have to drink. Sorry, Zach. This might be controversial, but I think License to Kill looks gorgeous, especially after whatever remaster they've done most recently. Well, this is why I'm quite looking forward to seeing the 4K releases, to see what they look like. Because so much of the Bond films is that I know that when I'm reacting to how they look, I'm reacting to that specific Blu-ray transfer, which might not be representative of how it actually looked on the big screen, where they naturally just look more filmic. But yeah, that's interesting about License to Kill. Oh, Lil Dak 1. Hello, Lil Dak. Do you think Isaac Hempstead Wright or John Oliver would make a good Q? I think Isaac Hempstead Wright would be fairly on the money, actually. I think he'd be brilliant, assuming that they would keep going with a younger sort of Q, which I think kind of works. But I don't know, next time they do it, they might want to mix it up and maybe go for a more middle-aged Q again, or a female Q. But yeah, it'll be interesting. John Oliver would be quite cool, too. I do like John Oliver. He's funny. Rin, thank you, Rin. Who, in your opinion, is the most attractive Bond girl? Well, I think probably Isabella Scorupco. I think she is just like one of the most. Actually, no, Ursula Andress. I was going to say one of the most. Like Ursula Andress is like goddess level beauty. She is just absolutely like when she comes out of the sea in Doctor No. There's a reason why it's an iconic scene, and I mean, she just looks stunning. It looks like she was sculpted. Like, yeah, just like one of those few people that really look. And I think Charlton Heston's similar in a way. Like I'm thinking of like Ben-Hur, Charlton Heston, where it's like they just look like they are just movie stars. They might not necessarily be the best actors in the world, but they are stars, and so much of that comes from just how phenomenally attractive they are. And Ursula Andress is definitely one of them. John Hansen, hello, John, again. Before you do meet and greet, you may want to rewatch the Frasier episode where he meets his fan club. Zach Marsh. Zach, I've seen your name again, so I'm gonna have to drink. Ben Whishaw should play Q for the rest of his life. I would love him to. I would love to have him and Naomi Harrison, Ralph Fiennes go for for a good bit longer. But I don't think they will. I think they're too in demand, I think, to settle for just like coming in for a couple of days work once every 4 years or whatever. Even though I think it'd be good. Oh, Paul Patterson. Hi, Paul. Calvin, excellent job, thank you. Do you think the events and plot of No Time to Die can rescue the missteps and problems of Spectre? I hope so. Well, I hope so too. As one of the reasons why I wanted to do my my marathon before No Time to Die is because I kind of want to see if Spectre worked better. Just if Spectre was the last Daniel Craig film, how would they work as a whole experience? And even in that context, I actually thought Spectre worked better. But I'm really hoping that No Time to Die will. Like, I'm already liking Madeline more because I like what I've seen of her in the No Time to Die promotional stuff. And I know that I'm getting way ahead of myself with that. But oh, Matthew Sutton. Thank you very much, Matthew. Hi, Calvin. Did you ever read the Young Bond books by Charlie Higson? And do you think they would be good to adapt for an Amazon Prime series? I have not actually, but I know that AJ Chowdhury, co-author of Some Kind of Hero, really rates those books. I just need to finish reading the main Bond books. Well, the continuation ones, anyway. Got all those bloody John Gardner books on the shelf still. Oh, Damien Fenton. Cheers, Damien. During your Craig marathon, what did you think of the plotline from Skyfall, where Bond is considered quite old? It just feels odd for his first movie. I completely agree. And it's one of the more jarring things about watching them all in succession like that. I was surprised it felt less like one whole and more like two halves, because you have Quantum of Solace very much just feeding on directly from Casino Royale, and then you have Spectre very much feeding on directly from the end of Spectre feeding on from Skyfall, to the extent that, Judi Dench gave him this mission to keep on going. So they feel the time gaps there feel very small. But going from Quantum to Skyfall, it feels like a whole heap of time has passed since then. And all of a sudden, Bond's antiquated and, too old and all that kind of stuff. I do agree. It feels like there's something missing there. Don Quixote, are you and David going to debate GoldenEye? And if so, who would attack it? Well, it can't be me. I could never attack GoldenEye. There's very little about it that I think. It's always like my top, it flips in my top two, but yeah, no, it certainly couldn't be me. Kaiju Comics, should James Bond Jr. be released on Blu-ray? Absolutely. But I don't think that's going to happen. I understand Barbara Broccoli doesn't like it very much, and I think it's akin to how George Lucas feels about the Star Wars Holiday Special, is how Barbara Broccoli feels about the James Bond Jr. TV series, which I think is a shame. But never mind. Jerry the Saint. Hi, Calvin. How good was it to smoke? Zaritsky at GoldenEye? Oh, in my GoldenEye video game review. It was really fun. Actually, getting David Zaritsky and Joe Darlington in on that. They were really good sports for that. I was just like, could you please just send me a video of you? Pretending to play a game. And they did it. It was cool. Daffyd again. Thank you very much, Daffyd. Cheers. You're always very kind. Would love to see 007 go all Mrs. Doubtfire on one of his missions and be disguised as a woman. What would his secret name be? Oh god, that's brilliant. Now that would be. Has that ever happened? Has that ever been a spoof? That feels like something Leslie Nielsen might have done, dressing up as Mrs. Doubtfire style. Brilliant. Oh, Richie MC. Cheers, Richie. Bond is from London. Why has there been no scene at a football or American soccer match? You know what? That's true, actually. I'm trying to think if football's ever even been mentioned in Bond. Maybe that's why I like it so much, because I don't know football. I don't really keep up with any kind of sport. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm wondering, has Bond ever mentioned football? If anyone knows, please do mention. High Voltage again. Thank you, High Voltage. Going rogue needs to stop being a plot point with future Bond movies. Just have Bond go on a mission without it all becoming personal. I mean, I do quite agree with that. That was something that I kind of liked about Rogue Nation, actually, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Like, obviously, he went rogue again because, I mean, God, if you think Bond goes rogue, Mission Impossible films, it's like 100% rogue rate, I think, in every film. But he went rogue, but it didn't feel like it was like, this time it's personal kind of stuff, like these things often feel. Yeah, I guess, no, actually, I was going to talk about No Time to Die, but I know people get funny about, if you haven't seen the trailers or anything, so I won't say anything on that subject. Can make it, his name would be Genital Surprise if he was dressed as a woman. Brilliant. I hope you and David will continue your talks even if you don't disagree. No, well, we have had a conversation about that, actually, because it would be nice to talk about them all, really. The next one we're recording is going to be For Your Eyes Only on... I think it's Friday coming up that we're going to record it, and then it'll be on his channel, and then we'll decide what to do next. But yes. Sam loves the deleted cricket scene from Casino Royale. Oh yes, of course, yeah. I mean, I like watching it in isolation. I'm happy that it's not in the film. I think it would probably break up the flow of some of that pre-credit scene, but it is in isolation. It's cool. Devil FN has asked, would you take the role of Bond? I don't think the world is ready for a Camp Northern Bond, is my usual line on that subject. I see myself as more of a Q. If I could be a Q, that would be nice. Barbara, Michael, if you're watching. They're definitely not watching. Zachary Antle again. Hi, Zachary. Don't think this is a spoiler as it's a personal theory, but I have a feeling Bond... Oh, okay. I don't know if that is a spoiler or not. It would be an interesting idea. Yeah, no, I mean, you know what, actually, I am kind of all for them doing some kind of development like that, because it is kind of nice when they've done something a bit new and different with Bond in pretty much every Bond film since Pierce Brosnan, I think. There's always been some kind of element to it, like, you've never seen this before, which is kind of cool. On that same line of thought, though, something that I like about something like Octopussy is that it is just this nice, comforting thing to watch, and it doesn't go too crazy. It doesn't try to be different or terribly unique on its own terms. It is what it is, and it owns it, and I quite like that. But if No Time to Die is going to do something very different, then yeah, no, I'm all for it. Oh, Peter McCormick again. Do you think anyone official has seen one of your videos, knows who you are? I don't think so, and I hope not, to be quite honest. I don't know if I could bear the thought of it. Omar. Hello, Omar. Calvin, have you upgraded to 4K films yet? No drink. Or should that be now drink? I'm going to have to drink just in case. No, I have not upgraded yet. I'm hoping to get a PlayStation 5 at some point this year, but they go out of sale like that. It's out of stock like that, rather, I should say. So yeah, but once I get a PlayStation 5 and they play 4K discs, I would hopefully the Bond set would be one of the first ones I'd get. Damien Fenton again. Hi, Damien. If they brought back Freddie Gray in a future movie, Who would be a good actor to play? My choice would be Toby Jones. I think that's spot on. I did quite like that they got Julian Fellows to play the Minister of Defense, even though I don't think it's supposed to be Freddie Gray. But he's playing a Minister of Defense character, and I think he was pretty good, actually. I quite like Julian Fellows, but Toby Jones is a brilliant, underrated actor. Tried to get him for my student film, actually, to do a voice, and he wanted money, which we didn't have, so he wasn't in it. Or rather, his agent wanted us to pay him. This is when I was a student and doing my student film and calling around all, the guy who was producing my film was calling around trying to get any famous person to do a voice. But no, Toby Jones wouldn't do it. I went on a tangent there. God, right, back. Chris Krubik? Hope I'm pronouncing that right, Chris. Chin chin. Good evening, Calvin. I hope you're well. Well, I'm very well, Chris. I hope you are too, particularly after I probably mangled the pronunciation of your surname. Oh, Joseph Sara, you heard of Grazlu 00? Yeah, no, I love Grazlu 00. Like, YouTube Bond game, GoldenEye playthrough, unparalleled. It's fantastic. A brilliant, brilliant channel. Sean Kunau? Again, it's always surnames I just can't do. I'm sorry, everyone. But cheers, Sean. Thank you very much. Would you believe that Max Zorin survived the events of View to a Kill, moved to Gotham City, and changed his name to Max Shrek? I would like to see a YouTube video of someone going through that theory in detail and, perhaps making a case for it, because I think that would be fairly conceivable. I've seen people do it with Sean Connery with The Rock recently, so yeah. I don't see why not. Right. Rin, thank you very much, Rin. Chin Chin. Favorite Tarantino film? Inglourious Bastards. 100% Inglourious Bastards. It's one of my very favorite films. Stunning. But I did really love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought that was really cool. I saw that not too long ago and I really liked it. But Inglourious Bastards, Christoph Waltz is phenomenal in it. And Diane Kruger as well. I love her. Oh, Chris again. Hey, Chris. Don't worry, it's a weird last name. No, it's not weird. It's just I'm just foolish. Have you ever considered doing a top 10 favorite movies list? I didn't I? I think I did on my channel. I tell you what, it was a Patreon goal. So I did it on Patreon because I hit a milestone on there, so it was sort of like a thank you to patrons. But it was good fun, and I'm enjoying actually the non-Bond reviews as an excuse to kind of talk about some old Hitchcock films and Indiana Jones and stuff, because it's some of my favorite films. So that's it's nice. Sam Harrison, who is your favorite SpongeBob character? Plankton. Definitely Plankton. Not that I'm much of a SpongeBob connoisseur. Oh, Timothy, thoughts on The Bride of Vernon a decade on? For those of you who don't know, The Bride of Vernon is my student animation, my stop motion film, which did win, because I have it here, Best Film at the Manchester International Film Festival. You can't really see the engraving, but I assure you it says Best Film. And yes, I cringe every time I see it, but the film that is. But it's nice. It served me very well. I got to go to some nice places on the back of it, and that was nice. It's often my advice when people ask about like going to film school and stuff, because I did, and it is. If anything's going to put set your parents alight with terror, it's going to them and saying, I want to do an arts degree. But film school is all about the film that you make at the end of it. So if you put all of your effort and attention into making a really good film in that final year, then you're fine. Basically, it's, the degree itself is not worth the the paper it's printed on pretty much, but the stuff that you make when you're there is worth it. So Jeff Edwardson, thank you very much for that, Jeff. Not sure if you meant to have a question or not, but I shall drink to you anyway, Jeff. Thank you very much for the super chat. Movie Guy, hello, Movie Guy. Did you watch The Sopranos? It's the best TV show of all time. I did watch The Sopranos. It was actually when I moved down to London, for the first time 10 years ago after university, and I didn't know anyone here. I didn't have any friends. I borrowed my dad's Sopranos DVD box set, and that was the thing that kind of kept me going for the first few weekends I was in London, as I was sort of, making friends at work and stuff. And then actually, can go and have a picnic at the weekend or go to the pub with people. The Sopranos does have a special place in my heart for that reason, because it was a tough and interesting time, and it was nice to have that escapism. Sam Harrison again. Hello, Sam again. Are you a Doctor Who fan? I watched all of the Christopher Eccleston series and the David Tennant series and nothing else. No, I tell a lie. I watched the first Matt Smith episode and the first Jodie, the new one. I forgot her name there. But yeah, it's not my thing. I don't think I'm a big sci-fi fan particularly, unless it's science fantasy or science horror, actually, like Alien. Hosni, have you ever thought of owning a white cat? I actually have, but I don't like cats, and I think I'm actually a bit allergic to them. A friend of mine actually does have a white cat, like a proper sort of like Blofeld style fluffy white cat, and I was over at hers a couple of years ago, meeting the cat for the first time, and my eyes were puffing up. I was like sneezing. I was red-faced. I had to have an antihistamine. It was terrible. So I'm actually quite nervous about white cats now. I don't know if it was some kind of, perhaps it's a psychological reaction. I'm just triggered by white cats after all of these years of being a Bond fan. Jeff Edwardson. Hello, Jeff Edwardson. Oh, Alex O'Loughlin is 007. Alex O'Loughlin. I don't know Alex O'Loughlin. I am going to Google Alex O'Loughlin, Jeff, so that... Oh, interesting. Australian. Oh, he could definitely be the part. Yeah. Oh, he looked good. I'm sorry, I'm a bit behind. Oh, Chris again. If I had to make an inspired guess, I'd say Skyfall, Goldfinger, and North by Northwest would be in your top 10 favorites. I have a really hard time putting Bond films in with my top 10. Bond films exist as like this separate entity for me, and I know that's really weird. North by Northwest is close. It's not exactly there, but Psycho is. Psycho's my favorite film. Hitchcock's Psycho. That is God, not the remake. Oh, Zach Marsh. Thank you, Zach. What about science fact, Calvin? I love me some science fact films. Moonraker, for instance. All about that science fact. Callum. Do you think there will be a backlash against the Craig films during the next actor's tenure, similar to how Brosnan's popularity dipped during the Craig era? 100%. I think we're definitely going to see that. Much like how the Brosnan ones are the ones that people kind of... I say people, I don't think it's Bond fans. I think it's just a little bit cool to sort of crap on the one who was previous. I'm talking about like news outlets and stuff. I don't think that the Brosnan films get half the attention that they deserve. But when I was growing up in the 90s, I felt, I didn't feel the same about Timothy Dalton because I didn't really like Timothy Dalton that much at the time, but I could see the same thing happening to Timothy Dalton then. So I just think there is this thing of like the previous Bond is always going to have a little bit of like, oh, they're, a bit past it now, and it takes some time for them to be reappraised. And I think we are coming to that for Pierce Brosnan. I really hope so. But meanwhile, I think the Daniel Craig backlash is already in full swing. I think people are kind of ready for something new and different now. Oh, you should review the Uncharted games. Yeah, no, they do seem pretty. I'm actually, my partner has a compilation of them, and I've been meaning to play them actually because they look really cool. Tommy Crad, Moonraker science fact. I know. Could be Broccoli's words, not mine. Could be Broccoli's. We should do a top 10 hyperbolic Cubby Broccoli promotional quotes video. Calvin, have you seen Remo Williams, Blue Collar Bond? I have not seen Remo Williams. Oh, Sam Harrison, have you seen Friday Night Dinner? I haven't, but Paul Ritter, is in it, who was also in Quantum of Solace. He was Guy Haynes, and I believe he had an awful lot of his stuff cut from Quantum of Solace because they deleted that whole Guy Hain subplots. Guy Hain is northern. Then this is the this is the alcohol taking its effect. I've gone a bit northern in some of my words. Zach Marsh, Tom Holland is too short. Oh, Tom Holland's going to be in the Uncharted film. Yeah, along with what's his name from Serenity, Nathan Fillion. Yeah. Sapphire, hi Calvin. Would you ever, or have you ever applied for MI6, like genuine MI6? They would do a Google search of me, like I wouldn't pass the very first check or whatever. They'd just look at it and be like, he's applying for this because he's a Bond geek. Show me the door. Andrew Birch. Hello, Andrew Birch. Hi, how many conventions have you been to and met actors that have appeared in the Bond films? I've not actually been to that many conventions, you know. Which is a shame. I probably should go to more. They do look very fun. But in terms of met actors that have been in Bond films, the Shaken Not Stirred group, which is a really great Facebook group. If you are on Facebook and a Bond fan, I recommend going to them because they're really, really good and genuinely really pleasant place. The moderators make it a very nice, polite and civil place to actually have a conversation, which is, I know, on the internet. Who'd go figure? But they did an event where, they had a couple of guys who'd been in the Bond films. Obviously, Roger Moore met him at a book signing. He signed this book. Which stays there. But that's about it. Aside from bumping into Pierce Brosnan randomly in Iceland at a spa. But I don't count that as meeting, because that was just like, I just, couldn't believe my luck. There's a video about it on my channel anyway, if people haven't heard my Pierce Brosnan bumping into story. But one of the weirder moments of my life. Thunderstorm 89 Gamer. Chin Chin. Hey, I just read the John Pearson autobiography. Is that a true story or just fiction? I'm so confused. That's interesting. Wait a minute. Are you talking about the John Pearson biography of Fleming or the autobiography of Bond? One sec. I think I've got it somewhere. Oh, yes, here we go. Sorry, it was actually beneath my Denise Richards autobiography, fittingly enough. Do you mean this one, the authorized biography? I did put a review on my channel about this because I didn't care for it at all. I thought it was a really weird conflation of, because it's like, it's John Pearson as a character going and meeting the real James Bond that Ian Fleming based his character on, but he's not meeting the real James Bond. He's making up a James Bond that Ian Fleming based his James Bond on, and it's just all these different layers of like, I didn't like it. Because it's like, well, why does it have to, why don't you just meet the real James Bond that Ian Fleming based his character on? Why does it have to be some fake James Bond that Ian Fleming based his fictional James Bond on? It was bizarre. Damien Fenton again. Hello, Damien. I love Psycho, but my interest dips a little after Marion's murder. What do you think? Oh, well, it's definitely the most iconic part of the film is the first 45 minutes for sure. But I love Vera Miles and I love Martin Balsam and Anthony Perkins as well, obviously. So the second half kind of carries me on those actors. And plus you just want to see them, you know, on a first watch anyway, you want to see them find out, and you want, you know, to find out what's going on with the whole mother thing. So it works for me. I do really like it. Danny Del Mazzo. Hi, Calvin. Do you enjoy Hammer films at all? I've seen very few, actually, and I want to see more, particularly some of the Christopher Lee ones. But, you know, what have I seen? I've seen The Nanny with Betty Davis. The ones that I've seen tend to not be the Dracula ones, because I'm a big fan of the Universal Dracula and Wolfman, Frankenstein, all of those. So the Hammer films I've not really seen all that much of. God, I did see one. I think I might have seen the very first Christopher Lee Dracula, actually. It's ringing a bell. But I do need to see more. Oh, Daffyd again. Hi, Daffyd again. Do you think there is another reason Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson that go with Pierce Brosnan that they're not saying. If that happened today, Twitter would go wild. I still remember it being a pretty crazy time back in the day, particularly because it seemed to set Pierce off on a bit of... I remember there were a good few years where he was quite down on the series and talking about it. And I do wonder what went down. It must have been a difficult... I mean, they talk about it being a difficult conversation on the Everything or Nothing documentary, but for them to let go of him, like very intentionally, while the box office numbers for his films were going up, Die Another Day made more than the others. Like each one was like, Tomorrow Never Dies opened against Titanic, for God's sake, and it still made more money than GoldenEye, which is fairly phenomenal. And he was popular as well, so I'm curious, to know what exactly. I just don't know if they... I do wonder if, because it was Barbara and Michael taking over from Cubby, on the day-to-day for GoldenEye, I do wonder if they just felt like Pierce was a safe bet to kind of reinvent the series on, because he already had an awful lot of public support from Remington Steele and all that. So I do wonder how much of that kind of carried through that decision. And then when they felt like they could kind of stand on their own, they were a bit more interested in doing something a bit different. Maybe. I'm speculating. Steve Lee Brosnan wanted Tarantino to direct a film. Yeah, he talks about that. I saw something where Pierce Brosnan was talking about how he met with Tarantino once to talk about it. I would love to have been a fly on the wall for that. God. Have you seen The Matador starring Pierce Brosnan and Greg Kinnear? I have not seen The Matador, actually. I always get confused with another film from around about that time with Pierce Brosnan. But no, I haven't. No. Sethanol, Die Another Day didn't age well. I don't know if it birthed well, to be honest. I liked it at the time, but I was 11, so... Or 12. 13. I was 13. 2002, I was 13. Oh, Matt Picton. I know a lot of people don't like the psychiatrist's Norman Bates summary at the end. I like it. What about you? Oh, no, I quite like it, too. Because I think that just... I think you need it, because otherwise, I think Hitchcock had a tendency to end his films quite abruptly. And I like that in Psycho, we actually have this scene to kind of settle after the main action is finished and kind of process everything. And then we get the stinger with Norman Bates's narration at the very end. Because without that psychiatrist speech, what would we have had? Would we have just gone straight into Norman Bates in the thing doing his internal monologue? No, I quite like it as well. You're definitely not alone there. Steve Lee, Die Another Day is a guilty pleasure of mine. Last time I watched it, I had a fairly good time. And I think I actually like all of the stuff in the Ice Palace and the cars going through and all that. There's a character in Uncharted 3 that's literally called Jaws. Brilliant. Lewis Cox. Hey, oh, thank you, Lewis. That's very kind. Thank you, Lewis. That's nice. Oh, Cornel. Hello, Cornel. Oh, what do you look for in a Bond score? Oof. I guess I look for adrenaline, maybe. No, I don't know really, because they're all so different. Like, obviously, From Russia with Love is such a melodic, like, whereas some of the more David Arnold ones are like, yeah, I'm getting my blood pumped here. Even funny watching Skyfall and Spectre, I thought it was amusing that, like, maybe it's because I've played Agent Under Fire very recently, but I like it when Thomas Newman, Bond does something, like he goes on the bike, hits the thing, flies onto the train at the start of Skyfall, and you get a da-da-dun, da-da-da-da, just like a little blip of the Bond theme. And it reminded me of in the games where you do a Bond move, and it'll play a da-da-da-da-da-da. I quite liked that was actually in the score for Skyfall, just like that little flourish when he does something particularly Bondian. I thought that was quite cool. I like the Bond theme. I want the Bond theme. I'm really looking forward to Hans Zimmer's soundtrack. I really hope it's good. I think it will be. Zach Marsh. Hitchcock's pre-40s films particularly tended to end kind of out of nowhere. It only works occasionally. I quite agree with you, Zach. I'm trying to think, like, oh God, even like Vertigo just ends so abruptly, and it's like, that's it. I mean, in a way, I kind of like that Hitchcock never felt much of a need to have the wrap up because he just felt bored with it. But at the same time, as an audience member, I kind of feel like I need that little, if the climax is the peak, I do need a little bit of a trough or something to just kind of wrap things up. Spectrum Video, how about Freddie Highmore as Bond or Q? He's a magnificent actor. I quite agree. And he was Norman Bates in the TV Bates Motel. I don't know if I see him as Bond, but Q, I mean, he'd certainly be a Ben Whishaw style Q, definitely. I quite like him as a villain. He'd be good at that. Dear Calvin, do you think James Bond is a psychopath? Yes, actually. Or some of them, rather. Like, I don't think that Roger's a psychopath. Sociopath, perhaps. No, I mean, certainly Dalton and Craig have certainly played more into that aspect of the character than the others. Heartbeat City. Any plans for future comic book reviews, Calvin? Current series seems pretty good. You know what? I haven't read any since. I've got a few of the compilations down here, but I haven't read any in a while. Again, I feel like I need to get through those books. It's those John Gardner books that they're just over there and they're just hanging over me like the sword of Damocles. Sam Harrison, do you like Gavin and Stacey? I haven't seen it, actually, but James Corden's in it, and I'm not a big James Corden fan at all. I was trying to think of like a metaphor then of anything that I would rather do than watch James Corden anything, but the list is literally infinite. I would rather do so many things. Bond at least isn't a good man. Well, no, that's very true, High Voltage. I agree with that. Oh, Rubik Fanatic, what is your favorite Bond novel, Calvin? My favorite Bond novel would be Moonraker, definitely. And I reread it. It's one of the few Flemings that I've revisited since doing my initial run of them, and I made videos for this channel a couple of years ago. And I reread it for David Zaritsky's Bond reading challenge a good while ago now. That's a good few months ago, but I just loved it. Absolutely adored it. It's a brilliant, brilliant book. And it's one of the ones that I would actually recommend. I think it's good to start with Casino Royale. I'm a completist, so if I'm going to do something, I like to start at the beginning and go to the end. It's probably what has put me off Doctor Who and Star Trek, because there's so much stuff there that if I did get into it, I just know I'd spend half my life on it. But the other half of my life, the parts of my life that aren't spent on Bond. Daffyd, again, hello. Who do you think Tomorrow Never Die... Why do you think Tomorrow Never Dies is getting more positive reviews these days? It's no way as good as GoldenEye, although it's not enough, like some feel. I mean, I'm a big fan of it, but I am with you, Daffyd. I much prefer... maybe not much prefer, but GoldenEye and The World's Not Enough, definitely high rank for me. Tomorrow Never Dies, I think some of these things are just like generational. And it's like when I was getting into Bond around the time in late 90s, early 2000s, everyone talked about Goldfinger. It was always Goldfinger. And that's because a lot of the people who are writing these columns for newspapers and presenting these things on TV and whatever, they all have these stories about going and seeing Goldfinger at the cinema and how it was a brilliant experience and all that kind of stuff. And that nostalgia does carry. And I feel like we're on the cusp of getting that Pierce Brosnan reappraisal because of people who grew up in the 90s and saw those films in the 90s, and they're now in positions where they can talk about it in newspapers and television and all that kind of stuff. And I think we'll see a influx, because I feel like Goldfinger's cred has really gone down recently. John Stallman, thank you very much, John. Oh, sorry, my vodka. Cheers, John. Do you think that we'd get a Property of a Lady film? Like, they've been sitting on that script since the late 80s, and I'm surprised that it never got made, since they do have the script. Yeah, no, well, Mark Edlitz's book, which I think is by my bed, I don't have it here, kind of talks about what some of those unmade Timothy Dalton films would have been like, and that would have been one of them. It's really interesting. I don't think we're going to get a Bond film titled The Property of a Lady anymore. I think we might have done a while ago, but now I think... with, the amount of executives that look over these films, the amount of focus groups and all that kind of stuff, and I think The Property of a Lady, it's just a flowery title, and I would like it if they used it. I think a lot of Bond fans would like it if they used it, but it's like, I think Risiko is a good one that they could still use. 007 in New York, they're obviously never going to use. What else is there? The Hildebrand rarity is probably a little bit vague. I'd love them to use Property of a Lady, but like I say, I don't think they will. Chris Carlin. Hello, Chris Carlin. Cheers. Oh, guys, just had a drink as well. Do you have any screen-used Bond props? And if so, which is your favorite? I have a piece of the bungee rope from GoldenEye. That's insane. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Cheers to that, Chris. God. I have no screen-used Bond props. And a part of that is really, like, this is a replica Golden Gun. I've got a replica GoldenEye up there. Replica, obviously. I guess I would like them, but at the moment I rent in London and I do not have the space to dedicate to collecting, basically. It is kind of just this corner here. I've got some more shelves down here where I keep all my Bond stuff. And that's kind of it, really, just because otherwise it would be a bit... Yeah, I don't know. I'd be packing up and moving every couple of years because that's just the nature of renting, it seems. So, yeah. Sasha King, have you watched Bad Education? Bad Education, is that the one with what's his name? Jack Whitehall. It's a sitcom, isn't it? Yeah, no, I've watched a bit of that. I think I liked it. High Voltage, very good point. We had Quantum of Solace as a title, so anything is possible. I quite agree, because who would have thought that Quantum of Solace would ever have been a title? I would have thought the focus groups would have poo-pooed that. Greg GT 8989. Love the fact you rate The World's Not Enough So High, my top Bond. Oh, well, I have to drink to that. Cheers, Greg. Right, I'm going to pour myself one more. And then that's going to be my last one because, God, I've had 3. I've had half of what Bond has had in Quantum of Solace. And I think this is still... Yeah, I don't want to leave here to get some ice, so I'm hoping that this is going to be cold enough. Yes, it is cold enough. Okay. Let's see. So it's 70 milliliters of this. And then bits of martini. And then this is it, because it is technically a school night, being a Sunday. Yeah, there we go. Spencer Kindra. Good Lord, I can't spit my words out. I think The Living Daylights got close to recapturing the espionage of From Russia with Love. Do you agree, or did another Bond movie get closer? Oh, no. I think those first... after the pre-credit sequence, the all the stuff with Bond and the sniper is so Fleming. It's incredible, and I quite agree. It really does capture that kind of Cold War vibe. I just wish that the whole film kind of carried that, to be honest. Daffy again. Will 007 free Hong Kong? Have a good night, man. Thank you very much. Right. I swear this is my last one. Right. I think my voice normally starts going around about 70 minutes into these, but it's actually going pretty well. Maybe it's the drink that's keeping the vocal cords going. So yeah, no, I think I'll be here until past. And then I should probably go and drink some water and have an early night. Spectrum video comment. Elliot Carver, Jonathan Pryce is my favorite cerebral villain. Who is yours? Right. Yes, not like the heavy kind of villain. Favorite cerebral villain. Does Goldfinger count as that? Because he's not really a very physical kind of villain. But I know it might be a bit of a cop-out to say Goldfinger because everyone loves Goldfinger. But I mean, he really is just like top tier Bond villain. He's absolutely fantastic. James Atkinson, love your content so far. Oh, thank you, James. Thank you. Cheers. Very kind of you. Ben Call, if you could pick one Bond film to be released by the Criterion Collection, which one would it be? I mean, a whole series set like their recent Godzilla set would be cool, but also worth a week's wages. No, that's quite right. I mean, I would probably love... it really bothers me that the Pierce Brosnan films don't have that much retrospective material on them on the Blu-rays. It's all like featurettes from the time. And so I would really like someone like Criterion to actually make some retrospective stuff. Like seeing Famke Janssen talk about GoldenEye in the Everything or Nothing documentary was incredible, because we don't see that all that much. It's like all of the others up to License to Kill have those great inside documentaries, which is the cast looking back. The Pierce Brosnan films don't have that. They just have, here's Elizabeth Hurley counting down the top 10 Bond moments in promotion of GoldenEye. And I would, prefer something like that. So yeah, the Pierce Brosnan set, I guess, would be my preferred selection, because I don't think we're going to get any new extras on the Bond 4Ks. I think they're just going to port over a load of, all of the Blu-ray stuff, if they port them over at all, to be honest, because they just don't seem to be bothered with extra features that much anymore. Greg again. Hi, Greg. What film do you think Reputation changed the most? Ooh. Well, technically, I'm gonna have to go with License to Kill on that. I don't know if you're talking about me or like general consensus, but actually License to Kill in both cases, I think, because I think that did take time to kind of settle in, and Daniel Craig to come in and help people reevaluate it, I think. God, I just thought Benign Crinoid says, the experience of love rocks. Wow, that is brave. That is the bravest comment I've ever seen. NT678. Hi, Calvin. I wrote to Daniel Craig via post. He sent me a personalized autograph of a No Time to Die picture. Do you have any Bond autographs? Oh, that's fantastic. No, I have this book here signed by Roger Moore. I swear I crack this out on every live stream, but it never gets old. But this is it, really. I went to a book signing that he was doing. There we go. I went to a book signing that he was doing, and got my 10 seconds in front of him. I was like, what do I say? That was a stressful experience, just because I was like, I have no idea what to say to you. I love you. There we go. Sam Harrison, do you like Little Britain? I do like Little Britain, or I did back at the time, I guess. I haven't seen it in years. It was when I was in high school. Ben Cole, do you ever think you'll do a video on the Birds of the West Indies book by the real James Bond? Now there's an idea. I know nothing about birds. If I ever ended up in the West Indies, maybe I would have to find one and take it with me and see what I could do, but it's not going to happen anytime soon, that's for sure. Oh, Richie MC, thank you very much. Fan if they remake Dr. No or From Russia with Love. Ooh. I'm not a fan of the idea of them remaking Bond films, because I feel like the formula is kind of there anyway. Like the difference between Goldfinger and A View to a Kill in terms of plot isn't all that different. It's like they do fit into these kind of archetypes. So I feel like remaking, which is part of the reason why I'm disappointed they brought Blofeld back, because I don't think you need to, because they just constantly reinvent them anyway. So, whether he's a villainous organization leader, a rich industrialist, or the dark side of Bond, which is the three things that they tend to go for. So I don't think they need to. Oh, Steve Lee. Cheers, Steve Lee. Did you get a chance to check out Law and Order Organized Crime? It's kind of like a spy series mixed with like turning Godfather on its head. Not perfect, but good. Oh, that's interesting. I've seen quite a bit of Law and Order from, I was going to say back when I was a kid, which is probably not the best of ages to be watching Law and Order. But no, I've seen bits, but I probably couldn't tell you which ones I've seen. They were always on Channel 5 here back in the day. And my stepmom really liked watching them, so we'd often watch them. And it's, I do like murder, crime investigation sort of shows. But nothing's as good as Murder, She Wrote, obviously. What are your opinions on Michael Curtiz? I don't know Michael Curtiz, Ali, I'm afraid. Which Bond video game would you like to see a remaster of the most? Oh, God, that's a... I mean, I suppose if they were to remaster the original GoldenEye, that would just be a... Throw an online multiplayer on that and I'm done. Like, I'm there for every night for 6 months, probably. But it's not my favorite Bond game. So I would probably end up saying something like Agent Under Fire or Nightfire. I would just love, oh God, if they could ever sort out the licensing stuff, I would just love them to release official, like for the Nintendo Switch or something, HD remasters or whatever they felt like they needed to do. It would just be fantastic. Ben Cole, did you get a chance to see Lupin 3 the first? As a fan of animation, I think you'd get a kick out of it. Very Bond Indiana Jones-esque. Oh, that's interesting, because I haven't. But I've heard good things. But yeah, okay. Thank you for that recommendation, Ben Cole. I'm going to look into that, see where I can find it. Far Cry 5 GoldenEye fan version. Oh yeah, I saw that on Grazlu00, a YouTube channel. It looked really interesting. Spectrum Video has the complete Murder, She Wrote collection. It's awesome. It is awesome. I've never actually bought the DVDs. I really feel like it's one of those things where it's always on TV, so I often catch odd episodes here and there. But I love Angela Lansbury. Fantastic. Sam Harrison, do you like Family Guy? I'm okay on Family Guy. I'm lukewarm on Family Guy. I like it. I have always preferred The Simpsons and early South Park, I think, if I had to qualify it. Oh, Booker Bird. Calvin, can you recommend any Bond art accounts to follow? Oh, definitely. Well, Sean Longmore, for a start, is absolutely fantastic, and the person responsible, you can't really see. But some of the artwork that's like, oh, yes, well, down here. And then Billy's Bond art is this Sheriff Pepper here, and I've got a Charles Gray from Billy's Bond art over there, and then Ruben Wakeman did these beauties here. Toys of Bond, actually, is what Ruben goes by. So, yeah, that I would, definitely say those. Oh, Marissa. Oh, that's very kind. I think you'd be a great Q. Eon should cast you. Thank you very much, Marissa. You'd regret saying that if I ever ended up on camera. My God. I'd actually be terribly nervous. I'm not very, Hi, Calvin. Thoughts on the Kate Bush being meant to sing the Moonraker theme song? Do you think it would have been good? I think it would have been better than what we got. And I love Moonraker, but the Shirley Bassey theme song, I like that they got Shirley Bassey back so that she's done 3. It's nice that she stands out like that, but it is such a song. And I know that people like it. I know that I've seen on my song ranking videos and stuff, people say that they quite like Moonraker, but it is just one of those where it's like, I don't hate it, but when I rank it, it's like it's always going to be towards the bottom just because it's so bleh, What do you want to see from IO Interactive's new Bond game, Obscure Media? Thank you very much for that question, because that's good. I want to see gadgets. I want to hear the Bond theme. I want to Bond moves to be back. I want it to really feel like a Bond game, because the problem with so many of the Craig Bond games is that they came out between that gap in between Quantum of Solace and Skyfall, and the Bond video games are often most influenced by the film that they're nearest. So Agent Under Fire, for instance, the preceding film was The World Is Not Enough. So in Agent Under Fire, you have a main female villain, a bald sort of side villain. You're on submarines and out at sea and all that kind of stuff. Nightfire, you're obviously on ice on an Aston Martin, because that was coming out in close proximity to Die Another Day. And the Craig Bond games felt like they couldn't use the Bond theme all that much, and they had to be... It just felt... so I just want Bond elements in a Bond game. I hope that's not too much to ask. Steve Lee again. They released photos of the next Indiana Jones film a few days ago with Ford and Toby Jones, who also played Hitchcock. Yes, he did. In The Girl, I think it was, wasn't it? Was it Sienna Miller as Tippi Hedren? At a location where apparently Mission Impossible 7 filmed recently. Oh, that's interesting. I do love all those pictures of Harrison Ford wandering around Newcastle. It's just lovely. My dad and stepmom live up in Newcastle, so I've been up there quite a lot. And it's interesting seeing Hollywood legend Harrison Ford strolling around in these pictures and stuff. I can't wait for that new Indiana Jones film. Wrestling Buff 87, Skyfall still your favorite? Which probably GoldenEye again, to be honest. I think I'll have to wait until No Time to Die comes out and has been out for a while before I do another ranking video of all of the films. But certainly on some recent rewatchings of certain films, I'm like, oh, that might change actually a little bit. Raphael, hey Calvin, have you ever tried to watch Thunderball without the clinic scenes? The first underwater scene and the whole Paula rescue scene is actually very good. I bet it is if you cut out all of that. Oh, dream pick to play the next Bond girl. Oof, that's a good question. I don't know if I have one as such. Elizabeth Debicki, I would really like to see in a Bond film in some kind of capacity. I think, maybe I'm just saying that because I loved her as the villain in the Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie, but I think she's got a really unique and interesting look, and I think she could do very well. What's the best Kool-Aid flavor? I have no idea what Kool-Aid is, I'm afraid. Kool-Aid? Oh, wait a minute, that's an American thing, isn't it? We don't have Kool-Aid here, I don't think. We only have local drinks here. Vodka and martini. That's about it. Which film would be best if novelized? Ooh. That's a very good question. I'd love to read a novelization of Skyfall, actually. The art of the novelization has kind of disappeared, hasn't it? I think they did do a novelization of Die Another Day, didn't they? And then I guess they didn't need to do one for Casino Royale, and they just haven't bothered for the other ones. Elizabeth Debicki was great in Night Manager and was in Tenet. Oh, of course she was in Tenet. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Ben called, you watch David Lynch's Daily Weather Reports? I don't, actually. They just pop up on my Twitter feed every now and then. But I might have to. I do love David Lynch. He's a crazy man. Oh, Sam Harrison, why don't you like James Corden? I've not heard good things about him, allegedly. And I just feel like he gives off a very insincere quality in everything that he does. And there was that story about, has everyone heard this story about James Corden and Pierce Brosnan? Like, this definitely soured me on James Corden, because James Corden was asked, who's the rudest celebrity you've ever met? And he said Pierce Brosnan. And the interviewer was like, well, elaborate. And apparently they were at a concert, and I can't remember who it was for. Maybe it was Bruce Springsteen, something like that. And James Corden was in an area, and Pierce Brosnan and his friends were in an area in front of James Corden. And then, according to James Corden, Pierce Brosnan and his friends left, and they went for a particularly long period of time, apparently. And so James Corden went into their area, and as he did that, he felt an arm sort of pull him back, and it was Pierce Brosnan who had returned with his friends and sort of budged him out of the way. And James Corden said that was very rude. And to me, reading that's like, well, yeah, if I was at a concert and some people came into my place, like, for all he knew, Pierce and his mates might have just gone out, to use the loo, to get more drinks, smoke break, like anything. And I just find it really funny that James Corden interpreted that situation as Pierce Brosnan being rude to him, instead of, like, James, maybe you shouldn't have gone into his area that he paid for to be there with his friends. Like, no matter how long they went away for, it wasn't your area. So that's a very long-winded way of explaining I don't like James Corden very much, because he, you can't, if you piss off Pierce Brosnan, you piss off the Bond fans, and I won't stand for it, I tells you. Rin, after Judi Dench's long tenure as M, did you feel like Ralph Fiennes' version was a little bit lackluster? Yes, entirely, completely. Until today, when I had my marathon and I watched all of the Daniel Craig films in succession. And honestly, I've really warmed on Ralph Fiennes actually after that experience, particularly in Spectre. I was kind of like, oh no, actually it flows. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know if I recommend that anyone give up a day of their lives to watch all of the Daniel Craig films in one go. But it was quite interesting to see them all as that one sort of piece. Thoughts on Aiden Turner as Bond? I think he'd be pretty good, actually. Yeah, of the names that are often touted around, I think Aiden Turner would be one of the better ones, definitely. Movie guy, what's your favorite video game? God. It might not actually be a Bond game. It would probably be Pokemon Heart Gold / Soul Silver. I'm a big Pokemon geek. Massive Pokemon geek. And Mario as well. I love Mario. So Mario World would probably be up there. Super Mario Brothers 3. James C., did you only eat that poached egg and salmon today? No, I didn't. I did have pasta for my dinner. I was tweeting earlier on about my Bond marathon, and I did pause for lunch to have poached egg, salmon, and avocado on toast. I was going to do scrambled eggs, but I prefer poached. I know Ian Fleming probably wouldn't care for that, but... have you read the Young Bond books by Charlie Higson? No, I haven't, actually. Steve Lee, Craig Ferguson for the win. Craig Ferguson is in the chat show host, because I love Craig Ferguson, if that's so. That might have been based on my previous comments about James Corden, whose chat show I do not watch. Craig Ferguson. Yes, it is the chat show, Craig Ferguson. Yeah. Ben Cole, will you ever release Bond's quiche recipe? It's what we, the fans, deserve. No, actually, if they did release it, it'd probably be on some embroidered tea towel in some sort of gold plate, and they'd charge £550 for it. Cornel, favorite actor who should have been cast as Bond but never was. That's an interesting one, because I think all of my favorites throughout time have just been Bond. No, I don't think there's anyone in that bracket. I'm always happy with the one that they picked. John Stallman. Hello, John. Do you have any idea why they brought back Roger for A View to a Kill? Late 50s does seem kind of old to play Bond. Love the movie, and Roger is in the film still. It's a weird one, isn't it? That he seemed to come back for A View to a Kill with very little sort of in the way of persuasion, whereas it's obviously well documented that, like, Octopussy, they were courting other people, whereas A View to a Kill, they seem to have just been very like, oh yeah, Roger's coming back, of course he's coming back. Maybe one too many, but I do love that Roger's in A View to a Kill. I can't wait, because I've started on my in-depth A View to a Kill video, and I can't wait for that one to come out, because I'm already having a really good time making it. The character in Uncharted 3 isn't called Jaws. He's just big, strong, and survives insane. Stuff like Jaws. Okay. Interesting. I'm pretty sure Cubby brought Roger back for A View to a Kill just because he felt lazy that day. That's how it felt reading his autobiography. Interesting. I've not read Cubby's autobiography. Right, Pokemon Go for the win. Quite agree. Though I'm not on it quite as much as I used to be. Probably because I'm not out and about that much anymore. Well, this has all gone very light all of a sudden. Let me see if I can reduce this. Oh, there we go. That's better. There we go. It's something got dark outside. My camera's just having a time adjusting. Oh, cheers from Montreal. Cheers from London, Jason. How would you have felt if Timothy Dalton was in GoldenEye? Well, you know me, I love me Brosnan. So I don't know, really. It would have been a very different film. It's really hard to tell, and I wouldn't want to give up GoldenEye. If I could dip into that alternate universe for a couple of hours and see the Timothy Dalton GoldenEye, I would, but I would not want to replace my precious Pierce Brosnan GoldenEye. Oh, Jumbo, thank you very much, Jumbo. That's very kind. Oh. Right, folks, I think I'm going to have to wrap it up soon. My voice always goes on these things after about an hour and a half mark. So, yes, a couple more questions. I'll finish this drink, just a little bit left in it, and then I shall call it a night. Right, I wouldn't have wanted that to happen either. Yeah. No, I knew I'm not the only Pierce Brosnan fan. Pepsi Squirrel, do you have a regular podcast? I do not, actually, but I am a guest on the Diminishing Returns podcast, and I was regular on that for the first few years of its life. But that's like a general movie podcast with a couple of uni mates of mine. And I'm also on the James Bond and Friends podcast quite a bit. So we have an awful lot of fun on there. I was on all of the watch along podcasts, and that was fun. Have you ever tried putting the Lego DB5 together? Well, did I try? I succeeded. And I loved it as well. It took an awful long time to do, but it was very, very good. Oh, Tiberius. Hello, Tiberius. Miriam Margolyes for a female Bond villain. Yes. Oh, I would absolutely love that. Miriam Margolyes, I just adore. She's so funny. Mike Snow, what do you like about Spectre now? You know what? It's just that I on my most recent rewatch, I was starting to like things like Madeline Swan. Just Madeline Swan a lot more. The action was playing better for me, and I don't know if that's just because when I watched it today, it was in a marathon, so maybe I was just like, you know, out of it nearly, and I was all actioned out. So what I previously thought of as the lethargic car chase through Rome, it just worked for me. I don't know. Madeline Swan, I already like more because of what we've seen of her in the No Time to Die promotional material. And I know that sounds ridiculous because she might end up being terrible in the film. Who knows? But I already like what they're doing with her potentially. And yeah, if she's great in No Time to Die, then that will change my opinion. This is why I've not updated my Bond girl ranking video anytime soon, because I'm like, that could come out and that could change whether she's at the very bottom or much further up. So we'll see. I'd have loved Timothy Dalton films made for him. Then have GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, no, I agree. I would have loved to have had a Pierce Brosnan, an extra Timothy Dalton in like 91 or something. Like if they could have done that, Property of a Lady, and then in 95 we could have carried on going with Pierce Brosnan. I would have liked that, but yeah. Oh, Naughty Dog, how come they never made a Dine of the Day video game? Well, Nightfire certainly has a lot of Dine of the Day elements, and there is a section based on Dine of the Day in 007 Legends, which I don't recommend anyone play up unless you're a Bond completist, in which case, obviously, you must. But yeah, they did have a chunk in that that was based on it. Right, okay, folks, I am going to down this and call it a night because my voice has started to go. These were really good. I certainly stick more to the Vespers usually, but the classic vodka martini can't be beat. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Thanks for all the questions. This has been fun. Thanks for enabling my school night drinking once again. There is a reason why I do these on Sundays. So, yeah, thank you very much. Oh, Ben Cole, cheers. You're awesome, Ben Cole. Thank you very much for tuning in again. Paul Lambert, good night from Dublin. Good night from London. Cheers. Bye, Aaron. Burb89, Timmy263. Okay, I'm going to head off, but yeah. Thanks very much, folks, and I'll try to do one of these again at some point in the near future. I'm not going to leave it another 6 months like it was this time. So, yeah, clearing the lens. See ya. Okay, great. See you, folks. Bye.